All right, so I believe we are up and running. Yes, we are. So welcome to our Connecticut chapter of the Computer Science Teachers Association January meeting. This is a virtual meeting for those of you who are viewing. Welcome. YouTube Live, we are streaming on YouTube Live, and there is a chat box on the right-hand corner that you can see. I just want to jump over, if you're seeing my screen, there will be a little bit of a lag for the presenters. So from the time you present to the time that you're actually shown live, there's about a 15-20 second delay. So just keep that in mind as we move through the night. Periodically, I'll be jumping over to check to make sure that everybody's there in the chat. So to the time that you're actually shown live, there's about a 15. Good example. So I just muted that there. So I'm just going to say hello to everyone. Show you an example of the chat in the right-hand corner. Okay, so that's where the questions will be coming in. If anybody is viewing us, you can submit your questions as the presenters are speaking. Just some quick updates to our members who are watching. Next meeting will be in person at Quinnipiac University in February. We will have some goodies from our last presenter, who we hope that you'll stick around to see. So we're excited about that. And let's see, I think we had one announcement that came in that was from Random Hacks of Kindness Jr. saying that registration is open for their hackathon in February. I believe it was February 25th. So if you know any middle school girls that would be interested, or if you have high school girls and boys that might want to mentor, that registration period is now open. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Jump back. Okay, so I am Colleen speaking, the Secretary of CTCSTA. Our President, Chinma Uche, is here, and our guest speakers are here. I just want to check one more thing before we get started. Chinma, anything to add with updates or reminders before we get started? No. Was it no? Okay, I guess it's no. So we're going to get started with our first presenter, who is Wendy Edwards from TestOut. There's a little bit of an abstract, a little abstract that's in the agenda document. And Wendy's going to give us a presentation and tell us a little bit about TestOut. And while she's giving her presentation, I would just say to think about how you could use this courseware in your classroom and how it could benefit you. And as she's speaking, remember that you can submit questions to the chat that I'll monitor. So I'm going to pass it over to our first guest speaker, Wendy Edwards. Welcome, Wendy. How are you?
Thank you, Pauline. Welcome. I'm just going to jump right into this, share my screen, and let's go. So. Okay, here we go. First of all, I want to talk about who TestOut is. And first of all, ultimately, it is a complete end-to-end certification training solution. It is also an completely online courseware. So it is accessible. Students can access this at home, at school, the library, so some benefits there. And then really it's a very flexible curriculum that you can use either as a self-paced learning, blended learning, flipped classroom. So there's different ways that this material can be used within the classroom. Another great feature we have is the implementation and the technical support that you get from TestOut. We don't just give you the material and say, good luck, you're on your own. We will help you implement it, and we do have a great technical support. When you call in, you're talking to people, so we're great to work with. Now I've listed here, this is a list of all of our courses that we offer. A few things to point out with the Desktop Pro and Pro Plus, the first course up here, it does cover computer basics, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. With the Desktop Pro Plus, this will help prepare students for the MOS exam. With our other courses, PC Pro, Network Pro, Security Pro, and Linux Pro, these courses are CompTIA approved quality content. So if you want your students to be prepared for the CompTIA exams, we can help you get there. We also have our own certification.
Wendy,
Yeah.
we're not seeing your screen.
Oh. Thank you for letting me know. Here is, how's that?
Good.
Thank you for letting me know. I didn't even notice that. Okay, here is a list of our courses. Now you can see it. And as you can see, these ones right here are the quality content approved quality content courses that we cover for the CompTIA courses. Let's move it along. Oh. Okay, I actually want to take you into the course itself because just seeing it is kind of a better view than showing you a PowerPoint. So let's actually jump into, this is LabSim. I'm in a teacher account. So we're going to go up to the products.
Could you use Control Plus to make it bigger so we can see it?
Okay, this is as big as I can get it. Is it okay?
I'm just going to jump in right quick. For those of us who are inside the Hangout, our presenters, it may appear small, but on the YouTube live, if you're watching live right now, you can make the YouTube video full screen, and I think that it comes out just fine. Okay, Wendy?
Okay.
Thanks.
And for those who are watching, at the end of this, I will show you where you can jump into this and evaluate the courseware on your own. So if you can't see it very well and you're interested, let me know. We can get you access so you can get it up on your own screen and see it much better than what I'm showing you. Okay, within the courseware, we have several different resources. The first is a video. I'm actually going to play this with the interactive scripts. This is actually from our Computer Basics chapter in the Desktop Pro Plus course. And the nice thing about our videos, we have a couple of features, closed captioning. We can speed up the video, we can slow it down. And then with the interactive scripts, students can follow along while the video is being played. If students need to review a specific topic within the video, we can just click right into that section and it will jump to it. Now with the script, we can print the script, we can also copy the text. So those two resources are available. So there's your video. The second type of resource are the fact sheets. The fact sheets are basically the textbook. So students can also print the fact sheets as well as copy the text. So those are both available. And then what really sets us apart, let me jump to a simulation. Let's go to, I wanted to use this one because this will actually show both the hardware side and the software side. So again, this is just a simple simulation that we have within the Computer Basics chapter. With all of our simulations, it will provide a real world scenario. So we have that listed over on the left-hand side. In this one, we are putting in a Wi-Fi wireless adapter. So on the shelf we have, here's our adapter. Sometimes we'll have a variety of items on the shelf to choose from. In this case, we just have the one. Let's just jump to the back of the computer. I'm just going to click and drag it into the USB drive. And then once it's in, we can jump over to, just click on the window. This jumps over to the software side. And there's several ways that we can check that we have the network going. We can check it over here. Oh, not connected. We can also jump over into our settings. I'm going to actually use this one down here. We want to go to this one, connect. It's asked us to use this security key, so I'm just going to copy paste it for the sake of time. Whoops. Next. And then it asks us to allow our PC to be discovered by other networks. I'm actually going to put no, just so you can see what happens when we get something incorrect. So go ahead and click done. Oh, I got it right. So here's our task that we were asked to do, and then we have an explanation as to the correct way to do it. So there is an applied lab within the computer basics chapter. The labs that are within the applications chapters, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access, these ones are set up a little differently. We will have 3 different types of labs. And let me just kind of show you the first one really quick. With the skills lab, it's going to offer you a couple of helps so that if you forget how to do the different tasks, it's going to provide some helps for you. So this first task, it is asking to add a confidential one watermark to the document. Let me point out, here's the different tasks that we're asked to do. We're focusing on this first one. I'm just going to do it correctly. Over to watermarks. Here is our confidential one. This is what we're trying to get, is this good job task completed. Now, if we don't know how to do a specific task, we can go down to the hints. We have it in a Word format, or we can do a quick show me video.
Border, place your cursor within the first.
And let's turn that down. So it's just a really quick video on how to do this specific task. So now we can go ahead and do that task. I want to go to the design page, background, box, and then we want this. I think it's asking for just the first page only. So here we go. Now, because we used the help, it's going to let us know we did it correctly, but it's going to put it back in the loop, and we are going to be asked to do this task again and see if we can do it correctly the next time. So you kind of get the idea. Another feature that we have is, let me see if I have a task in here. I did the wrong one. If there are multiple ways to do a specific task, it will allow you to do, use the ribbon, use the right click. There's different ways that we can do the task within these labs. Okay, now here, because I didn't go back and do this specific task, it's going to have me do it again. Or it's going to provide the warning sign, so I know I need to work on that task. So there is your skills lab. With the next type of lab, we have a challenge lab. This is like your drill and practice here. It is similar to the skills lab, but a few differences. It's going to take one of the hints away. So we will no longer have the show me hints, but we will have, once this comes up, you'll see that we have the, let's go ahead and start it. We just have the hint in word format. So it's kind of taking away one of our crutches here. Also, what is different with the challenge lab is now it is being timed. So up in the top right corner, students are challenged to be able to do this multiple times with getting it. We want them to be more proficient. We don't want them just moving around. Where is it? Where is it? Trying to find where they can do this specific task. We want them to be able to get it right the first time. So we're going to time them, and it challenges them to be able to, let's see if I can do this faster. See if I can find this faster. Another difference with the challenge lab is you are working with 3 different documents. So each time you do the challenge up, it will look a little different and the tasks will be a little randomized. So let me go ahead and click done. Okay, now our third type of lab is the applied lab. With the applied lab, by now students should be able to do the specific tasks. So we're taking away all the hints. We have set all the tasks over on the left-hand side, and students will need to complete all the tasks until they have finished. Once they've completed all the tasks, then they will go ahead and click done. Another feature with the applied lab, it will have the tasks listed here and an explanation as to how to do it correctly if they missed anything. So it's still giving them some feedback. Okay, so there's your 3 types of labs within the course. And let me just point out, I showed you the different courses that we offer. With these 3 types of labs, this is only within the Desktop Pro Plus and Desktop Pro courses. Within PC Pro, Network Pro, those other courses, it will just have the applied labs. Okay, some other features, teaching resources that are available for the teachers. Right here we have custom exams. This allows you to create your own exam using our database of the labs. With the PC Pro and the other IT courses, it will have multiple choice questions. So you can use those multiple choice questions for a custom exam that you create. The nice thing about these custom exams is that the students do not see these exams until you schedule it for them. So you can create a pre-test, post-test. With the Office Pro and Pro Plus, we have also put the end of chapter exams under this custom exam, so you can tweak it if you want to. It will have, like we can go into, let's go into Excel. Let's call it a post-test. Let's see, Desktop Pro. So here's our end of chapter exams. This will have several different labs. So if you do not have enough time to do all the labs within this, you can just select, 2 or 3 of them that the students can work on, and then go ahead and click done. So we've created a post test here that we can assign to the students. So here's our custom exam. Let me jump up to certification. This is our certification. It is 100% performance-based. It is included with each of the licenses. Let me give an example with PC Pro. We have the PC Pro course will prepare for the A+ certification as well as our PC Pro certification. These certifications will use these simulations to assess students on what they can do. Can they do those job skills rather than are they just memorizing the knowledge? So that is the difference with the certification. Let me jump back over to really quickly here. So a couple of items as far as reporting goes. You will have class grade books, individual reports that you can use for the students, school reports, so school-wide, you can see how well students are doing. And then we also have custom exam reporting. The pro certification can be used as like a final exam if you wanted to. And let me just point out here, we also have LMS integration. So if you have LTI one-to-one, then you can utilize the LMS integration. So like Moodle, Blackboard, Schoology, I think is one. And then also teaching aids that are available. We have lesson plans, course outlines, tutorials, instructor training. So we will help train you so you know how to utilize these resources. And this is free. You don't need to pay extra for this. And then with the Desktop Pro or Pro Plus, we also have class activities and slides available, as well as a Getting Started guide, which will help you prepare for those courses. It'll tell you everything you need to know. And then just really quick, the difference this makes for students. We have helped thousands of students. Of course, we have about 600 high schools that we work with. We also work at a college level. And with these students, we have also helped out with Skills USA, getting students certified. Some of these students here have gone on to get high-paying jobs based on the certification that they have earned through TestOut. And then just really quick, the difference for Connecticut. I work with John Buxton at Cheney Technical High School. He has agreed to let me use him as a resource. He is great to work with. If any of you would like kind of a reference in Connecticut, he has agreed to be that reference. So I wanted to kind of point out John. And then here's just some of the other schools that utilize TestOut. This isn't a complete list, but these are some of the schools in Connecticut that do use TestOut. And then just really quick, we've been around for 25 years. It's a great company to work for. We've trained over 140,000 students, work with many schools, not just in the United States, but worldwide. We're in Brazil, England, Australia, so it's a company that is worldwide. I think I finished just in time my 5:25, so I'm going to pass it back over to Pauline. One really quick thing I wanted to point out. In the agenda, if you would like to get access to the courseware, as I had mentioned before, there is a link in here, and this will actually take you to this website here. If you want to kind of see what it's like to do one of the simulations, will take you to one in the PC Pro course. If you would like to get a 60-day evaluation, or a 30-day evaluation of the courses, any of these courses, go ahead and fill this out. If you do have questions, you're welcome to put them in this best time to reach you. So you can put it there, or you can ask Pauline the questions through Hangouts, and she will get those to me. So just go ahead and utilize that. Okay, now I'm jumping it back to you, Pauline.
Thank you, Wendy. That was great. And we do have some questions, if you're ready for them.
Yes, I am.
So I just wanted clarification from one of our high school teachers. Is the courseware completely web-based, or is there any installation that's required? So this one was that you were demonstrating was for IT, correct?
Yes, it is completely web-based. Nothing needs to be downloaded, so it is pulling from our servers. If you do have issues with bandwidth, we do have what's called a lab sim accelerator, which can help with that. In that case, the content is being downloaded to your servers, so it's being pulled from your servers. Otherwise, it's from our servers, and you do not have to download anything.
Great. So that was from Carl. Excellent. I had just a quick comment going through my list of notes and the questions I was taking. John, that you mentioned, the teacher from Connecticut, I did connect with him, and he did, for our members, he did join the mailing list today and is planning to be in contact. So he is available in there, and he's interested in being a part of CTCSTA and seeing what it has to offer. So just letting our members know again that he is there if you do have questions, and he is in Manchester, Connecticut. Another question that's coming in, do the exams within the courses grant certification, or do they prepare you for the certification exam?
The courseware, we also have something I didn't show is the practice exams in the IT courses. So it does prepare for the, let's say, for example, PC Pro. It does prepare for the A+ certification as well as our certification. So it prepares for both.
Great. And let's see, the training that you have for the teacher, you mentioned there's training for the teacher to learn how to use the courseware. Could you kind of give a summary of what the teacher would go through when they're doing that training?
Usually that is with me. If it's a high school instructor, I like working with my instructors, so I will sit down, do a similar webinar like what you're seeing here, where I take you through the course, show you how to create classes, show you how to activate licenses, whatever training you need. And I also have instructors who come back the next year saying, hey, you need to show me how to do this again. I do that as well.
Great. Excellent. And I think there's one more here, unless that I have on my list. I'm seeing another question from another high school teacher. What languages or what options are available? So what other courses?
Yeah, good question. We do have it in Spanish. The TestOut Pro Plus is coming out this month in Spanish. We also have it in, we do have it in PC Pro, but that one needs to be updated. But it is with the PC Pro Plus, we have it in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
nice, very nice. I know that when we talked, we had to decide what you were going to present on tonight, and we decided the IT, but there are other areas that you provide the courseware for, right? So what other areas?
I leaned more towards the Desktop Pro Plus, which is Microsoft Excel, Word, PowerPoint. But the first simulation I showed is similar to what you would see in the IT course.
Okay. Great. I'm not seeing any more questions on the chat. Any questions from our presenters, Chinma?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. I just was wondering, what amount of time does the teacher need to put in up front before teaching it? Is it just one day meeting with you, or is it some hours of study on their own before they teach your course?
It's kind of up to the instructor. You could, you know, hand it over to the students and say, okay, do section 1.1. You could hand it over to the students. I think most instructors would like to at least go through the course a little bit before they hand it over to the students so that they can help them. But not a whole lot is required. So if you're not an IT teacher and you are assigned to teach a class like this, it's really easy to transfer over to that.
All right. Any other questions? Just gonna wait a few seconds here. I think we are all set. Thank you so much, Wendy. That was
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. Bye.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to switch gears and go right into our second presenter. And Isaiah, you have to help me with your last name. I don't want to butcher it, so I just call you Isaiah from the enScholar Foundation. How do you pronounce your last name?
I pronounce it Baldissera. It's an Italian name, actually, but you can call me Isaiah. That's all good.
Okay. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight and agreeing to present.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's great to speak with teachers. I actually come from a family of teachers. My parents and my sister, they're all elementary school teachers. And I work with undergraduates here on the West Coast at the university level. So I guess you could say it runs in the blood. Yeah, thanks for having me. I wanted to just quickly talk about a nonprofit that I co-founded. And basically we've created a platform, and it's run by teachers and students from across the US and around the world. And we basically hunt down the best STEM experiences and resources that can be used by students at the middle school or the high school level. And the reason I wanted to talk to you is because we've been reaching out to school districts, schools, as well as organizations that are interested in promoting STEM education. And yeah, everything is completely free and run by, as I mentioned, students and teachers. We're basically crowdsourcing the curation of the best content that we can find. And we have curated over 5,000 different posts. So things like videos, career profiles, different national events across the US, like Google Science Fair, different large hackathons and things, as well as tutorials, different apps, scholarships, internships, that type of thing. So I realized that this is a group of teachers for computer science. And again, I wanted to introduce what we've got. So if this can be of any value, any use to you, then you're more than welcome to use it. Again, everything's free. And also, we are looking for great resources and opportunities to share with other students and teachers on the platform. So whenever I talk to teachers, I always say, you know, if you've got something in mind, whether that's maybe an online tool or a resource, or maybe it's an event, a hackathon, or something that you think is exceptional, and you'd like to share it with the rest of the world or the rest of the country, then I really encourage you to get in touch and share it. I thought I'd go through the tool, just give you a quick tour, and if anyone has questions, you know, I'd be more than happy to answer you. Let me just share my screen here, if I could.
Yeah, all good.
Awesome. Let me know if you can see that.
Right.
Cool.
I see. So, just waiting for it to pop up on the screen. Just give it a few seconds. And there we go. The floor is yours.
Perfect. So what we've done is created a community of people that are hunting these down. And as you can see, the homepage is just a leaderboard of some of the things that we found. Again, this is a curation of things like videos from, for example, NASA, MOOCs, different free courses that we found on places like Udemy, edX, as well as things like internships, scholarships, different events, and so forth. And every day, we've got a list of usually about 8 to 10 new experiences or resources that we post on the site. So it's always changing. People are checking back on a daily or a weekly basis. We've also got some collections, as you can see here. So related to different STEM topics. So of course, you'd probably be most interested in computer science. We've just, again, curated some of the best resources, best free resources that we could find. And of course, there's a search bar, so you can type in certain topics. You know, say you're looking for a tutorial or something. We've got plenty of those. If you look down here, You can see the different types of content that we have and the different categories. We are expanding our categories to be a lot more specific so that a user can browse through different things. There's also the ability to create a profile. And when you do that, you can create your own collections of different experiences. So for example, you could click on save and then have that saved to your own individual collection on your profile. You can also upvote things that you think are cool. And on your profile, let me see if I can just bring this up here. Might take a second or two. What we found is that teachers tend to use the tool or the platform as a place to create collections of different resources related to the topics they're teaching. So they might want to come up with a collection for a certain class that includes things like tutorials, or maybe different career profiles related to the content, or perhaps a video or two to help them introduce a topic during their lectures. So that's one thing we find they're using it for. The other is to help students to create career collections, so things related to their career interests. So say they come across a profile or maybe a video that relates to something that they're interested in, or perhaps it's something to do with a graduation requirement. So planning, personal planning to actually, I guess, meet some of the requirements to set forth into university or some kind of college or training program. So this is kind of one of those places where you can curate and group together those things in collections. So if it's an internship they're interested in or some kind of competition that leads up to it, then this is the place that students and teachers can both do that. Now, one thing I'll mention is that the opportunities here tend to be either location independent or purely online. And we've actually partnered with an organization called the Connectory. I think maybe some of you have heard of that, but they help curate in-person experiences for students related to STEM. So if that's an after-school workshop, or maybe it's an event or some kind of a course for students, they would list that, and we've connected to them to feature more in-person experiences. So most of the stuff you'll find on Try It, though, is something that a student from anywhere, whether they're in Connecticut or across the country, around the world, can take part in. So those are the types of experiences. And yeah, as I mentioned, we're always looking for great teachers to help contribute content, give us ideas for different content, or even take part in curating the content that we get from other students and users. So yeah, I figured I'd let you know about that. As you can see on the page here, there is a Suggest a Post page where you can connect directly. And one thing is, I'll also direct you towards the About Us video here. I'm not going to play it now, but if you go to try.enscholar.com/about, you'll run into it. I guess one thing I will mention as well is that we've created another platform called enScholar, Scholar Career Tools. And again, this is a separate platform. It's not related to STEM specifically, but it is a series of free career tools that are video guided. So essentially what happens is a student watches a video and then completes a quick activity where they're brainstorming their different interests, strengths, values, and then they're using it as kind of a personal journal and a place to keep all of the information about their progress towards finding a career or a college program. And yeah, and at the end of it, there's basically an activity that helps them match up what they think their interests, strengths, and values are with different careers. And again, all this is free. Students can create an account, teachers can try it out too. And yeah, so that's the platform. I suppose if anyone's got questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Right, great. Thank you, Isaiah. We do have a question that came in, and just to clarify, if there were conferences that perhaps a teacher or student could attend, could those be listed on the site?
Yes. So again, we're looking more for conferences that are open to either, again, people worldwide or across the US. So if this is just for, say, teachers in Connecticut, then at this point at least, it's probably a little bit too localized. However, if you do have something in mind that you want us to check out, we do have people curating content. I can actually list my email here in the comments here. Oh, I might have to remove my, let me try this one more time. Okay. That should do the trick, I hope. Yeah, so if you've got an event and you're not sure about it, then feel free to get in touch. We can take a look at it. And if it meets the criteria, again, we're looking for free content to limit the barriers to entry for both students and teachers. We know budgets are usually tight, so we try to find the best content we can. So I was on a call with NASA not too long ago, as well as PBS, Khan Academy, and so forth. So most of their online content, videos, tutorials, different tools and apps, those are all featured on Try It.
Great. I don't have any questions. I think they're a pretty neat thing, pretty nice to have this place we can go and you can look and get ideas and resources. As usually we often find that everything is so scattered. So I don't have any questions. Do any of our other presenters that are here have any questions? No? Chinna?
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank you for the presentation. I wasn't aware of the resource, so I'll take a closer look at it. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, in the future, if anyone does have any questions, or one thing that we've been doing, and I was just on a call, a webinar with the North Carolina School of Science and Technology, and basically they're using it as part of their class to create collections to present to the rest of the class. And we actually feature some of their collections live on the site. We also had a webinar where we talked to the students and found out what types of content they'd be more interested in. And then we try to keep in close connection with the different classrooms and students and teachers that are using it, because we want to make sure that the content that we're curating is meeting a need. So again, if you've got, say, for example, a computer science class, or something in IT, or just in STEM in general, that you'd like us to connect with, and perhaps, again, maybe your students would have some suggestions on what type of content they're looking for, then we'd be happy to connect, even set up some kind of call or webinar. Again, everything's free, and we appreciate your feedback, whether that's positive or negative. We're always looking to get better.
Great. Thank you so much, Isaiah.
Thank you. And Happy New Year.
Same to you. All right. We are going to switch over. Next up, the always smiling Colleen. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I gotta say, I love it. Colleen, Pauline.
I know, me too.
Something about it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's meant to be. And I have 15 minutes. Is that right?
Oh, 15 minutes. Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's dig in then. So I'm going to screen share. Okay. Can folks see that?
Just gonna pause for a second, and we're gonna make sure that the stream catches up.
Okay, so I've got a slide deck here. It's just in Google Docs, so you should be able to access it at tinyurl.com/CTCSTA-2017. Okay, so I'm going to dive right in and introduce myself first. I'm Colleen Lewis. I'm a computer science professor from Harvey Mudd College in Southern California. And I have this project, CS Teaching Tips. You can find us on Twitter and csteachingtips.org. I'll talk about that in a second. But the thing I wanted to do was provide some big picture landscape of the K-12 computer science stuff that's going on. I feel like I've been accumulating links that are relevant, and you know, maybe it should all be on Try It, but for now, for me, it's just a scattered set. So I want to walk you through some of those resources that I find super, super helpful. Okay, the first one, this is a shameless plug, is csteachingtips.org. So we have been interviewing computer science teachers. We've interviewed 150 computer science teachers about what makes teaching computer science difficult, where students have trouble, how they make it accessible and interesting. For example, we've got these tip sheets with tips for reducing bias, for lecturing in computer science, pair programming. For each of these tip sheets, we also have a video. That's not a very cute freeze frame of me, but whatever. We've got short videos with tips for pair programming and for each of these tip sheets. And then you can also browse and search through our more than 1,000 tips. Okay. Whatever, csteachingtips.org, you can go and check that out. But I want to walk you through some of the other national, state level, and then curriculum resources that I know about. And I would love for other folks to add in other resources in the chat window or wherever else is appropriate. I don't totally understand Hangouts Live. Okay, so I think folks have heard about the broad plan to fund CS for All at the $4 billion level. I think we've had a lot of movement in the last few weeks in terms of trying to provide that funding. And I think that certainly we're all on board with that. Organizations in this space, I'm sure you all know, Computer Science Teachers Association has become csteachers.org. It's still the Computer Science Teachers Association, but they have a ton of great resources there. Another thing you might not know about is CS for All Consortium. That's at csforall.org. And what they are is they're trying to bring together folks in K-12 schools, at the district level, at the state level, at the individual school level, researchers, and other content providers, and really bring them together and help them connect. So this might be a place for you to connect with those other folks, particularly in your local region. The Coalition to Diversify Computing, I can't believe there's another CDC. Certainly Coalition to Diversify Computing might not be what you think of when you think of CDC, but CDC-Computing has a lot of great resources for thinking about the goal of expanding access to computing and really diversifying the computing workforce. Another resource in there is called Access Computing, and these are based out of the University of Washington, and they have a ton of great tip sheets for working with students who have disabilities. So if you have a blind student in your computing class for the first time, if you have a student with a mobility impairment in your class for the first time, you can go to Access Computing and get a bunch of great tips, a bunch of stories about things that have worked for other students. NCWIT, the National Center for Women in Information Technology, is like broad organization trying to support women in computer science. I think the name has women in it, but I think if you look at the work they're doing, I think they are thinking about things much broader than a narrow gender binary sort of definition, but we'll ignore that for a second. They have a ton of resources, excuse me, for educators. Excuse me, and you can search on their content resources specific to K-12. Excuse me, sorry. For folks who are teaching computer science at the high school level, some of their resources for college faculty might be helpful to you. So that's Engage CS EDU. They have a bunch of curriculum resources. On the right side of the screen, you'll see Award for Aspirations in Computing. I hope that all the high school teachers out there know about this. This is a program that young women can apply to. And really the goal is to help fan that interest in computing. So a student doesn't have to have, be a runner-up for a Turing Award to be able to get this aspirations in computing. They just have to express that interest. And then what folks like Harvey Mudd will host award ceremonies at their institution and celebrate both students and teachers. So it's really a way of celebrating your students' interests. There's another organization dedicated to focus on women in computer science. That's the Anita Borg Institute. You might have heard of them because they host the Grace Hopper Celebration of Women in Computing. They're also making a big push right now to work with ABI Local. And so what they're trying to do is set up local chapters. The Grace Hopper Celebration of Women in Computing is once a year. It's a national event. It brings together recruiters, a lot of college students, faculty and folks in industry, and then a handful of high school students. And the goal is to take that model and turn it into one-day event so folks don't have to travel as far. The Grace Hopper celebration, I think, hosted something like 15,000 people. So some of the local chapters are trying to bud up to offer some of that same opportunity for networking, but more place-based and bringing people in your local community together. Great organizations, Black Girls Code and Girls Who Code. They have a ton of curriculum resources online, and they have local chapters. So you might check out if there are local chapters that you can connect with. For example, if you want mentors to come into your classroom, you might reach out to see if there are any Black Girls Code groups in your area and invite some of their members to come and talk to your students as they're starting to learn to code. There's CS for All Teachers. This is a National Science Foundation funded website, and it's really trying to bring together teachers and trying to be the one-stop shop for teachers who were interested in computer science education. And so they have curriculum resources, they have a help forum, they offer webinars, they have really a ton of great stuff on there. You might have heard of Computer Science Education Week, so csedweek.org. They have a bunch, again, of curriculum resources available there. You might more likely have heard of hourofcode.com, and what they're trying to do is to, I think, sort of trick people into trying to teach computer science. So if a teacher has never taught computer science before, maybe if they just teach it for 1 hour this year, and then next year, they might be interested in doing it for maybe 5 hours, maybe a whole week's worth of class. And so really helping teachers transition from teachers who don't identify as computer science teachers to teachers who might be interested in integrating it into their practice. You might have also heard of code.org. They also have curriculum resources available, and I think those run from 5th grade through 12th grade. There are a lot of state-level organizations, and I'm not sure if you guys have a state-level organization that's moving and shaking, but some of these other ones, I think, provide resources that are helpful, even if you're not in their state. So one is, I'm California-based, so is Access, and so this is for California computing education. They've got a bunch of great resources on their website. CSNYC is the nonprofit that works with New York City to try and achieve their $81 million 10-year project of having students in every grade band have a meaningful experience with computer science. So they're really on the forefront. They're also running that CS for All consortium. Code VA, Virginia's, has a lot of great resources that they've compiled for their teachers in their area, and I'm sure they would be thrilled for you to tap into those resources that they've compiled. Okay, again, I'm trying to provide the 10,000-foot view of all the stuff that's going on in K-12 computer science education. I'm sorry if some of this is duplicate, but it's short, so hopefully you don't mind too much. So we have a bunch of high school computer science courses, and I'll start from the most advanced. So you might have heard of AP Computer Science A. That's by the College Board, and that primarily focuses on Java programming. There was a big push. The participation of Computer Science A was not great. The numbers of students taking the course hadn't been growing. And so they said, hey, let's introduce another computer science AP course. There's more backstory to how this one happened, but what's important for you is there's another AP computer science course called CS Principles. Although instead of like the first one, APCSA, which is always taught in Java, CS Principles is taught in a variety of languages, and you can go and see some of those resources at csprinciples.org. They can give you kind of the overview of the different options. I'll highlight a few here. In a Texas-based one from UT Austin is UTeach CS Principles, and a lot of these CS Principles courses offer trainings during the summer primarily. Another one that I worked on while I was a graduate student at Berkeley is The Beauty and Joy of Computing, or BJC, and that one is based using a language much like Scratch. That language is called Snap, but it's puzzle piece blocks that students use to code. Maybe folks have heard of Exploring Computer Science, or ECS. This is a project out of UCLA, and they're really focused on having students actively involved and engaging in inquiry about computer science. I think they offer the perspective of it's not enough for our curriculum to just tell students what to do and build specific skills. We need students really thinking critically about computer science, and we need them bringing themselves into the act of computer science. So there's a big focus on equity and inclusion within this curriculum. And a lot of folks use Exploring Computer Science at sort of a 9th or 10th grade level. Another one that's at the high school level, typically around 9th grade, or maybe even middle school, or maybe some middle school, is Bootstrap, or Bootstrap World. There's also a popular web development environment called Bootstrap. This was before that. And what they do is they integrate algebra teaching into computer science, into a computer science course. And it's really a beautiful match there. There's some middle school courses. My colleague has Middle Years, or My CS, that's available at this URL. I have a course on edX, and if you search for programming in Scratch, this is about a 36-hour, relatively difficult programming course, but is appropriate for middle school students. And then Google has a Scratch-based set of videos that I think are really easy to do plug and play, and this is at csfirst.com. One other thing is there's a bunch of great websites for our students to practice programming, Coding Back, Practice It, Code Step by Step, and Code Academy that I want to leave you with. And then last, follow us on Twitter. We're csteachingtips.org, and also CS Teaching Tips on Twitter and Facebook. Again, the tiny URL here will get you access to this presentation if you want any of the URLs or anything. You can also email me at lewis, Lewis, at hmc, that's harveymedcollege.edu, and I'd be happy to chat with you more. Okay, I think I barely made it within my window. Any questions?
All right, I'm just checking the chat.
My computer seems to be a little frozen, so I worry that I'm not hearing you when you're asking questions.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. No, we don't have any questions per se that came in. Some of our members are saying very, very cool to have, and we would definitely think that we should have CS Teaching Tips posted on our website. So that way it can be shared. It's a great resource. So do you have here's a question. Do you have a list of these resources that you went over that can be shown on the website, or is it best just a link to CS Teaching Tips?
Oh, do you mean with the resource? Because here I went through like a lot of sort of resources in general. I only have those in presentation form, although I'd be happy to make them a list. And then with csteachingtips.org, I think if you just go to csteachingtips.org, you'll see the videos and the tip sheets, and you can browse. And if you find it confusing to use, send me an email, because I would love to improve it so that it's easier for teachers to use.
Great. Will the slides be available afterwards? For how long?
Oh, yeah, I think just indefinitely.
Okay.
You're welcome to make a copy of them if you want to save and share a copy within your organization, but I'll just leave on the sharing settings, and that tiny URL should get folks to it.
Excellent. Excellent. Let's see. I think we're good. Let's see. Betsy is online. Betsy is our vice president, and she said mobile CSP ? And that's because not trying to be biased as the secretary, but we do have a partnership with mobile CSP. CTCSTA has a partnership with mobile CSP.
Oh,
So
awesome.
Connecticut teachers, we're not saying you have to, but you're strongly encouraged to stick with mobile CSP as the version for CS principals if you're interested in teaching.
And I think that makes sense. I think there's not really great things to help you figure out, oh, is this one the best? Is that one the best? I think there's a lot of great options out there, and the opportunity to have folks in your area who are teaching the same content is huge. So definitely do mobile CSP.
And I think that's a great transition to our members. Putting on my mobile CSP hat, mobile CSP's application is available. So if you're looking for PD in Connecticut, we'll have a PD at Trinity College and at Southern Connecticut State University. So check that out, and we'll have some information at our next meeting. Betsy is going crazy in the chat. Chinma, do you have any questions for Colleen?
No, I just want to thank Colleen for being wonderful always.
Thanks
so
so much.
I get to see Colleen more than others. So I am really grateful because some of the things you highlighted, at times we take them for granted. We think people know about them.
Yeah.
All up for us. So that's something we can continue to chat about.
And
I think I like the idea of posting it on our website.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
great.
would
And
be
certainly with the Google Live, I think folks can add comments if there are other resources that I missed. But I think hopefully a crash course in some of the resources that are out there.
No, you did a great job. It's really wonderful. And you got everything in fast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was really great to hear all the other content and connect with folks.
Great. And you are on Twitter, right? We had someone tweeting. So we'll try to connect on Twitter and have our members connect on Twitter as well.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Colleen.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We're closing out the night. Half an hour earlier than expected, which is great. Nobody's complaining. Just keep in mind that the recording will be available. You can go back and watch it and pause at any time if you have questions or want to see something a little close up. If you have questions about any of the presentations, feel free to send them out either to myself or to the presenter directly if they gave their email address. Chinma, any closing remarks?
No, I think I want to thank you, Pauline, for really leading in every sense of the word. And I also want to thank those who came on and joined the meeting. I think it's really wonderful for us to listen to people. Sometimes you think that people know about things, but when you hear it from a different perspective, it adds a lot to what you already know. For our members who are here, and then thank you, Pauline, for everything you do. I guess that's it. Thank you.
Just to close out, I'm going to share my screen as we close out and just remind everyone. Our website has the upcoming meetings. I'll be updating this, but our next meeting again, February 13th. Usually always tentative. Sometimes we get a snowstorm. We have to change that. But it's at Quinnipiac University. It's be in person, so we're looking forward to seeing everyone after this long winter break that we had. We had 2 virtual meetings. I think went well, so it'd be great to see everyone in person again in February, starting off with a light dinner So reach out, email us, members at CTCSTA.org, and let us know if you have questions. All right. Have a good night, everyone.